I think the important thing is to be able to protect their identities to the very end so they are not prematurely exposed, which is why it's not so obvious that we can ask them to, show up and not be immediately endangered. So we have to be very careful about that. But we are constantly in dialogue with them, preparing that transfer. So as soon as this regime collapses, we can immediately engage those forces within and constitute all the elements that will contribute to that.
I know you had
transition.
some meetings on Capitol Hill. Were those positive? I mean, do you get good sense from the lawmakers?
I think that many lawmakers on the Hill, regardless of which party they represent, understand how critical it is, especially if you want to promote liberty and democracy, that Western democracies, the U.S. at the top of the list, have a crucial role to play to support the freedom-seeking nations. And I think they understand that beyond just word of encouragement or condemnation, we have reached a point where some action is needed. Regardless of what the executive branch wants to do, the legislative side has to be in support of anything that can empower a nation, because at the end of the day, it's about empowerment. It's about giving a nation. And we've seen that before. How did apartheid come to an end? Right. How did the Soviet Union collapse?
But, we also saw it in the Green Revolution, which didn't develop, and there was criticism that we as the U.S. didn't do enough to help on the ground, 2009.
It is true.
Do you think this is the tipping point?
It is very different.
This is the moment.
It is very different, Brett, because the demand now is not just economic hardship or shortcomings or lack of liberalization. We have come to the point where people are just fed up with this regime. They are saying death to the dictator. They want to liberate themselves. And their demand for freedom is met with the most brutal reaction by a regime that is waging war on its own citizens. How else can we liberate ourselves when there's such degree of pressure without having, at some point, an element of backing and support from free nations that stand on the right side of history? Do not throw us under the bus by trying to negotiate or appease a regime that for 47 years has brutalized our nation.
Well, it's interesting to hear the president talk, and we'll see what the actions are or are not.